These are the times that try men's souls. Those were the words written by Thomas Paine in December of 1776 as the American army retreated across the Delaware River, having been defeated soundly in New York. These soldiers, 90% of whom deserted the army, believed that all the sacrifices they had made to protect and to restore their liberty had been wasted, that they had lost that opportunity. And Thomas Paine realized that the cause of liberty stood at a crisis moment. He wrote the pamphlet American Crisis for the purpose of giving hope to a weary and worried American army and to the families all across the colonies that depended on those soldiers to restore their life, liberty, and property, and to throw off the chains of a tyrannical central government bent on denying them their rights. Friends, I believe we likewise stand at a time in history that try men's souls. I believe that we too witness every day a central government growing more and more tyrannical, who are every day robbing us of our property and trying to confine our liberties within boundaries the government sets. So we, as our patriot forefathers, have a difficult decision to make. Do we accept defeat, console ourselves that our enemy was more powerful, that we were outnumbered, or do we carry on in our defense of liberty regardless of the odds? Just as Thomas Paine's timely words gave hope to the desperate and diseased soldiers in General Washington's army, I believe there's hope for us as well. That hope is history. In his History of Rome, the ancient historian Livy wrote the following: "The study of history is the best medicine for a troubled mind. For in history you have a record of the infinite variety of human experience plainly set out for all to see. And in that record you can find for yourself and for your country both examples and warnings, fine things to take as models, base things rotten through and through to avoid." I believe that that is true, and I'm here to offer the healing of history to troubled minds living in trying times. The last several years of teaching to homeschool families and at public school families anxious to have their children learn true history have taught me that these lessons from our history, true history, have the power to heal troubled minds and to strengthen those students for the fight for liberty that we face today. Thomas Paine understood this, and he wrote the following in that pamphlet, American Crisis: "What we obtain too cheap, we esteem too lightly. It is dearness only that gives everything its value. Heaven knows how to put a proper price upon its goods, and it would be strange indeed if so celestial an article as freedom should not be highly rated." Friends, I believe that many of our present problems are made worse because of an institutional ignorance of our history. But I believe we can change that. We hear all the time about how the education system is broken, and it is. But I can tell you we can fix it, and I'm here to do my part to fix it. I offer lessons on true history, inspiring stories from the history of America and the history of the world. And I believe those stories, those lessons, will steel the nerves of young people they will become young people like those young people in the 1770s that stood up to tyranny, that fought back against a central government trying to take its rights, trying to steal its property through taxation. I believe that if we begin teaching true history, that we can have a generation like that again. And if you believe that, friends, I would ask you to help this endeavor by donating to Teacher of Liberty whatever you can afford to donate. Small, large, that's not the question. The question isn't how much did you do for the cause of liberty? It's did you do something for the cause of liberty? I'm here and we're ready to teach lessons. We're ready to restore those powerful stories that are being denied to our children, those powerful, passionate, inspiring stories from our history. And I believe that we can take lessons of this celestial article of freedom, as Paine called it, and we can put those into the homes of every family that desires their children to hear these lessons again. And I also believe that if we can raise up a generation of young people who read what our founding fathers read, we will also see a generation of young people that will be able to do what our founding fathers did, and that is throw off the chains of an oppressive government and restore the glorious sound of liberty from sea to shining sea. Thank you so much, and good night.